From the host to Super Bowl 50 back in February of 2016, there's a look at the home of the 49ers, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Now the Michigan man, Jake Moody, to get us started. And we are underway from Santa Clara. And able to get this out to the 25. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Throwing now is Daniels. Robinson's got it. So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. 3rd and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the 3rd play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 yards there, good for a Washington first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 8. They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Daniels looking to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 27-yard line. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
They'll try the left side. Felton. And different running back, same result as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I think it might be time to move to a different section of the playbook there because back-to-back runs, both for loss. Now they have 3rd and long coming up.
So 1st and 2nd down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Gonzalez's kick is good, and it's 3-0 Washington. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Shotgun now with Purdy. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Dietrich Wise running through and dropping him for the sack.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. They begin the drive with Robinson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
To the air goes Daniels. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Terry McLaurin, but now it's 3rd down. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the 1st. To throw is Daniels. That is caught, and he's going to have a Commanders 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going, and if points result, we'll call this play significant.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd and 5. Play action. Now it's Daniels. That's Samuel. Caught left side. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. Off the play fake, Daniels. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Running on first down, Eckler. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
A give to Robinson on the option. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr., a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Commanders had 6 to their lead. Well, solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there, and each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. On the ground, here's the 4th-round pick from April's draft. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Boy, you go 3 and out on your first drive, and that's not the way you want to start this drive either. Doesn't seem like they're really into it just yet.
No, first 4 plays, you don't want to call it a disaster, but not looking very sharp. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Purdy. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Here's Purdy. Completes it to Jennings. And they're going to get him down well short of the 1st as he can only get this to the 30. Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
This is taken at the 23. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Here comes the Commanders offense back onto the field. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Daniels. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. A gain of 8 there on the play, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
From the 38 now, here's 2nd and 2. Here's Daniels. And that's complete to McCaffrey. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Daniels. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. And Washington with a football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Offensive line wasn't set. There's the flag, and 5 yards back they go.
Quarterback has to look around and make sure that his team is ready to go. Sometimes the quarterbacks go faster than is necessary.
A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
They go play action. Daniels toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Being chased out left. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Jaden Daniels, an 18-yard touchdown run. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
So just 3 yards on the completion there, and it'll be second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Back to throw, Purdy. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And McCaffrey going to pick up a Niners first down as he'll get this up past the 35-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Now Purdy. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's second down. A little tough on the secondary there, in zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. Send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Again, it's Purdy to throw it. And a catch made by his tight end, Luke Farrell. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From just shy of midfield, here's a 2nd and 7. Purdy will set up to throw it here. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 38-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Purdy now to throw. Connects with Kittle underneath. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Purdy looking to throw. That's complete to Pearsall. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Ball resting on the 10-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Throwing here, Purdy. That'll be caught by Ayuk. Touchdown, 49ers. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Niners are able to cut into that deficit. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Moody good with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
His throw complete right side to Bates, the tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Throwing now is Daniels. Forced out to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's 2nd down.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now we got whistles before the snap. Looked like one of the commanders jumped.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Off the play fake, Daniels. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
To the air goes Daniels.
Dancing to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Daniels looking to throw. Flush to his right, and he'll get it down on the play to the 37. He opted to go with his scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. Jacob Cowing deep to receive it.
And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
McCaffrey running up the middle. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Purdy
Connects with Kittle underneath.
and he is going to have a 49ers first down, and he's going to have it by plenty, able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
Here's Purdy.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Purdy throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Out of the gun, Purdy. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Here's Mitch Wishnowsky now on to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Washington going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line.
To throw is Daniels. Pass to Brown. He's got it on the crossing route. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
As they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Second and 7. Play action. Now it's Daniels. Finding Ertz here on the out route.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Up the middle they go. Felton. And he'll work this one up to about the 38.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Working out of the gun, Daniels. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Final 12 seconds of the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The 49er offense set to go to begin quarter number 3. Well, the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to throw. Purdy. Over the middle, complete. That's Jennings. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away.
The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's Daniels. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
2nd and 10. Now Daniels.
That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short definitely was a great time to dial one up.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Here's the option. That's some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone.
A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Robinson up the middle.
So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Here's 3rd and 6.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
But that was
and now the red flag out on the field. We'll have a challenge forthcoming.
Gonzalez to add the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Oh, now how about this return? And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, this certainly feels like complimentary football to me, partner, because the momentum from the team's touchdown drive looks like it's made its way over to the defense. They're working together in tandem now. Offense gets in the end zone. Defense with a big sack on the first play of the following drive.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Back to throw, Purdy. Pass caught by Pearsall.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over.
The Washington offense back out there. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Back to Deebo Samuel for consecutive catches.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme.
Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Purdy. And he's got the ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right, and as they breathe a sigh of relief, you know they're looking at the scoreboard, thinking to themselves, if we turn it over there, things could really get rough for us trying to make a comeback in this game.
Now Purdy.
Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you're these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
The Washington offense set to take over.
And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And remember, this is a running back that fumbled on the previous drive, but fortunately for them, nothing came of it. And I think when that happens, sometimes coaches can lean a little more on forgive and forget. So he's right back out there and running again.
Now we've got whistles here before the snap, and I believe this is going to be on Washington.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Looking to throw. Daniels. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Hey, let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
From the gun on 3rd down, Daniels.
He dumps it to Eckler underneath.
So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10.
At their own 27.
And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Purdy going to give it to Garendo.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one a 1st down pickup of 8. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter.
Purdy now to throw. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Purdy looking to throw. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing here, Purdy. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held a team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Purdy, big 4th down play. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the 44 now, here's 2nd and 4.
Back to throw again.
He's got this complete to Ayuk on the out route.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. They just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Purdy.
Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Once more, Purdy looking to throw. That's caught. It's McCaffrey again.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Out of the gun, Purdy. He'll get it inside the 20.
And out of bounds right around the 20. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football, and that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did. And remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. The offense on third down, just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 5.
Purdy from the gun.
Touchdown 49ers.
Brandon Ayuk.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Niners have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept him out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on him. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Moody good with the extra point.
And the lead down to 10, 24-14.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Now we get another look at Washington on offense.
Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Nick Bosa using that speed to get in there and break that play up.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
To the air goes Daniels. Checks this one down to Robinson.
Call it a gain of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing now is Daniels. That's to the sideline and pulled in.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 25-yard line. A 1st down and then some. Give them 29 yards.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense, because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Off the play fake, Daniels. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders.
Terry McLaurin, 25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Commanders are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Here's Purdy. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey.
And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
A throw left side for Pearsall is complete.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Back to throw, Purdy.
That's caught by Jennings. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
He'll get this to Jennings over the middle. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Now Purdy.
He's got it. Touchdown. Juwan Jennings from 6 yards away.
And the Niners get a bit closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game, they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
Moody good with the extra point.
And the lead is trimmed down to 10. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back.
And this is going to be covered up by Washington.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively.
Another drive coming up for this Washington offense.
And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6.
They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And he'll take this one down to the 36.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. On 3rd down, Robinson.
Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
So Purdy and the Niners
down by 10. A minute 37 remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down.
Here's Purdy to throw. That's complete to Pearsall.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That was one they needed to connect on. They're down, but not quite out. So you have to figure, with under 2 minutes to play, they need to hit on something in very short order.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Purdy to throw.
And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Purdy to throw.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. Washington about to close this one out as they are down to a knee. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So a victory here for the Commanders. I tell you what, the snow, not only did it not dampen the crowd's enthusiasm, they were great, but it didn't slow down the offenses either.
Let's start with the first thing you said, the crowd. Normally when it snows, what do you want to do? You bundle up, right? You don't get out of your seat. You don't cheer as loudly. That didn't happen with this crew. They were into it. And then the second part, offense is executed at a high level when you expected maybe to see a few more turnovers, the ball slip out of guys' hands. They took care of the ball in a big way.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.